Man, this
Oh my
finale
god, please
is...
rip his shirt off.
You guys, we're getting something special.
Oh, here we go.
Oh no, we're about to get fucking... Let's go! Let's go!
Oh my god,
yes!
is this his final form?
Give me the fucking...
Do it! They're getting longer! They're getting longer! Turn gold!
He's just gonna fuck with the loom himself.
But like, he got more clothes, not less. It's fine, it's fine. Oh wow, look how long they are.
Nice.
You're going
it's
to
like dying branches of
mend
the tree.
every timeline?
Can you
one
give
by
it
one?
life?
Oh,
Yeah.
shut up. So this is Loki's world. He's building it a strand at a time.
Welcome back to the Breakroom. The finale of Loki Season 2 just premiered, and wow! Was that an ending or what? This is Inside Marvel, New Rockstars weekly Marvel reaction show. I'm Erik Voss. Here with me is Maude, Garrett, and Breakroom producer John Costa.
Hello.
Today, we are bringing back our Lightspeed delivery of our after show, giving you our episode reactions and immediate post-episode thoughts. We'll also get into our big question, what is Loki's fate? Could there be a third season? And tomorrow, I'm sure we're gonna have some more Loki questions to talk about here on the Breakroom channel. Join Zach Huddleston and Maude and Coy Jandro and Kim Horcher. They're gonna be digging into all those lingering questions right here in the Breakroom.
Wish me luck.
And before we get into it, we want to give a thank you to this week's sponsor, AirScreen. There's so much content to watch. Just the new Rockstars universe of channels is putting out hours of videos a week, and that's before you flip on Disney Plus or Netflix. Not to mention, we all have jobs to do, overflowing inboxes and Slack pings that don't quit. What if I told you, though? What if I told you that you could have it all? Watch more content while still getting your work done.
Many timelines?
Multiple timelines layered on top of each other, you say? Well, our friends at AirScreen have come up with a way to do both. AirScreen lets you seamlessly watch full screen video content while maintaining productivity by letting you see through the windows you have open. You adjust the transparency to get it just right for whatever you are doing, and all of a sudden, you can fill out a spreadsheet or answer an email while still seeing the visual Easter egg that I am pointing out in the latest Loki episode. You don't have to miss a big moment, and you don't need to scramble to change tabs or minimize anything. AirScreen has been in beta with early testers and is just now coming out to the public. They're partnering with us because they're fans of New Rockstars and think AirScreen is really going to connect with our audience. Try it out and see if you like it as much as we do. To download AirScreen, click the link below for a 14-day free trial. No credit card info needed. The first 500 people to use New Rockstars 25 will receive 25% off the annual subscription.
I already love it.
Is
This
it
is so good. I can't
Is
get
it
enough.
the actual theme in reverse? No, it's just new music.
It's new music.
We're going backwards.
Now this is very Hans Zimmer circa Dunkirk, using a
Ooh,
watch
okay,
to
yeah.
emulate the
Time.
heartbeat.
Shout out to our friends at Perception who made this backward intro.
But then, you know what they have now though? They've discovered friendship.
Everything will go fine. Ooh,
Woo!
he's back. What a great opening.
Oh, okay. Don't do it,
Just
my boy.
Just let him fry again. It was very funny. I have a feeling I know what's gonna happen.
What? Oh. Why isn't Loki stopping him? He knows how this goes.
I wonder if he's just like, hey, let's see if it works better this time.
No, he's running. It did happen again. He let him do it.
That's so bad.
But that's the beginning of the end again.
We took too long.
Where are we about to go?
All tension's gone because of this music.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's no way he's gonna make it in time. Can you go, Loki? Can you go back in time more?
That's not exactly right. The radiation's too high at that point.
Okay, they listen.
Figured it out. We're smarter than Loki, by the way.
Loki, my man, you've got to go yourself.
We're getting new angles.
We're getting the VFX artists were like doing spaghetti for months.
Oh. Oh. They're gonna fanboy.
We don't have time. Oh, why are you being so weird?
She knows.
Yeah.
Obi, how long will it take me to know everything that you know about mechanics?
Oh my God. Years.
Decades.
Centuries.
Better get started.
He's becoming a Kang. He's living outside of time.
Oh, centuries later.
I wonder how many times they've done this loop now.
Do not set the multiplier down, or it will roll off the gangway. Okay?
I want to see all the times that they fucked this up.
I don't think. I think I would want everything to end if I had to learn that over centuries. I haven't.
Yeah, I don't know if I have that kind of stamina. You've already lived for centuries.
Just to do this singular event.
To extend your life, you know. I love that no one is asking like, oh, so you must be doing a time thing, right? Because this wasn't.
Yeah, how do you know
This
everything?
wasn't you 45 minutes ago.
Be brave. You're being so brave.
I am like nervous for him.
Like a parent talking their
He's-
small child through like their first dentist visit.
Don't put it down.
What did I tell you?
He's not gonna.
Was not expecting.
Live
This
to
can't
see
have
another
worked, right?
birthday.
This can't have worked.
That's a lot of radiation.
The multiplier was perfect.
Okay, this is where you would lose it. You do centuries of work, and
Just still doesn't
when you
work.
accomplish your task, it's like, yeah.
Oh,
I don't see it that way.
you can't do it. So he has to kill her. He's back in the shirt.
Our favorite shirt.
Uh-oh.
Cool. Sweet.
You're gonna have to kill her, my dude.
See you soon.
Hear me out.
He's gonna have to kill her.
I mean, the problem is that Sylvie has like had this vendetta for her whole life,
You
basically.
can't convince her out
It's
of
gonna
it.
be really difficult. I think you're right.
Do it. Oh, listen to me.
I think you're right.
She was so sad all season 2. No, you're gonna have to do it, my dude.
You have to kill her to save everyone.
Why do you never try to stop her? Fight back. Do something.
Oh, he knows.
Frozen in time. Oh yeah, he must, right?
And what makes you think this is the first time we've had this conversation?
God.
You're having some problems with the temporal loom.
Jonathan Majors making fun of his own acting choices is very funny. What do you do here?
You do it, Sylvie. Did you find a nice little pocket on a timeline?
I mean,
and you eat McDonald's?
honestly.
I feel like Loki's experienced centuries. He's experienced millennia.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Right. Interesting that he won't just kill her.
In my throne. You want to be king? I don't want to be. I was born.
Bleak.
Really bleak.
Oh! Why did that happen?
Oh.
Is he? No, he's still. Is it? He's still. What? What? I don't understand. Uh oh.
Okay.
Why there? Why
Let's
in that
go.
time? Why that? Why that moment?
Let's go. Because this is like a good opportunity to explain things. You can't fucking kill him. This happens.
I've tried everything.
Is he gonna?
Can I kill you,
apologize?
please?
Oh come on, no suit.
He's a god.
But like, what was all that before?
Man, this.
Oh my
finale
God! Please
is-
rip his
oh,
shirt off.
You guys, we're getting something special.
Here we go.
Oh no, we're about to get fucking. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh! Oh my God!
Yes!
Is this his final form?
Give me the fucking.
Do it! They're getting longer! They're getting longer! Turn gold!
He's just gonna fuck with the loom himself.
But like he got more clothes, not less. It's fine, it's fine. Oh wow, look how long they are.
Nice.
What?
Well, that's not.
There is no sacred timeline? There is nothing? I don't think there's a season 3.
Oh, I think there is a season 3. They made it worse.
You're going
it's like
to
dying branches of the
Mend
tree.
every timeline?
Can you
one
give
by
it
one?
life?
Oh,
Yeah.
shut up. So this is Loki's world. He's building it a strand at a time. Oh, that's the branch I'm in. Oh,
So good.
I'd buy that perfume. What?
What? I'm taking my timelines and I'm going home. Shout out to the VFX artist. This is incredible.
He is putting the timelines back together. There's his throne.
Yeah, cool. Symbiote.
Whoa. Dude.
This is awesome. This is so cool. He's peacocking.
It's working.
Such a good costume design.
It's like the opposite of Spider-Man. What?
This is awesome.
It's Tree of Life.
Oh, it is. It's like the... Is it Jotunheim? What is the...
Yeah, I think so.
Shut up.
Wow. Period.
Whoa!
Cool.
Does he have to sit there forever? Holding it together?
616 adjacent realm, but they handled it, so good for them.
They handled it. Ants.
Yeah, she would have landed in the void.
It is sad because I do really like her, but it is good for her to see probably like what happened.
What she was a part of.
Right.
What?
Oh, it's the TVA?
Is this really sad? Why do I want to cry?
I do want to cry.
What is this?
Whoa.
He's stuck there, yeah?
I thought we were done.
Holding it all together. 59 minutes.
I'm glad we're not.
Loki, are you happy?
I can't imagine, so.
He's got a lot of time to think. Remember how his biggest fear was being lonely?
Yeah.
Got all
He
those
did it for his friends, but.
branches to keep him company. That's devastating.
Oh, what a great season.
How do you even... I don't think there's a... That's Tom Hiddleston's retirement, no?
Maybe.
That's Owen Wilson's
until
retirement?
Secret Wars or King Dynasty.
Oh.
I mean, I guess just round of applause to Eric Martin and
Whew.
Maude and Jensen.
What was that, huh? I'm going to need a minute to just digest what the truck went on.
Wow.
And we're back. And I'm back here with John, Costa, and Maude Garrett.
We're
Hi,
matching.
guys. We are matching. I put on a jacket because I was like, they might be confused who is who here.
That's right.
Oh, what do you guys think of that episode?
I got punched in the gut, and I'm still trying to breathe.
John, what did you do?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know what?
Things are getting out of control here.
Yeah.
John, your thoughts?
I really liked it. And maybe that's too weak of a reaction. I thought, like, creatively, they did some really incredible things. It was beautiful. It sounded incredible. The storytelling was excellent. I thought all of the performances were great. And I am a puddle.
Yeah.
It just hurts. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it honestly felt like not the experience of watching a superhero genre, but like almost like watching a Miyazaki film. Like it was like, I don't know what space we are in right now, but I understand emotionally what is happening, and it's so beautiful. Like I'm floored. I'm completely floored. I'm blown away. I did not think that they could do this on this show. That they could just like build a texture out of feelings and an architecture and a landscape out of emotions, and for it all to make sense. I'm confused, but it makes sense.
You know what? I wanted to be really sad, and I wanted to be annoyed that with all of this time travel and going further and further back, I just didn't want all of season 2 to be redundant. You know, because I have loved season 2. I thought it's been so good, but then I've realized that the things that he went through in season 2 got him to where he
Absolutely
will remain.
And I think, I think
Loki who remains.
Stories that
I coined
Loki
it.
Who remains. Tweet it now so that
I
no
know,
one else.
right? Maude said it.
Stories that end with all of the characters getting what they want, and it being wrong, is like a really painful but lovely way to tell a story. Right? Loki gets his throne. I assume Sylvie gets her branch timeline. Mobius gets to spend time with his family, but he's on a jet ski, so he gets what he wants at the end. But it is like really sad.
At what cost?
Because they all learn what they want is not what they need, but that's not what they get.
I don't think I could. I don't know, obviously I'm not in it, but like to have him take that responsibility, take that responsibility forever, I'm also disgusted by this.
There's for the viewers, there's a sleepy, beautiful dog sitting behind us who's not raising his head and is just like coughing, but keeping his head because he's sad.
But it's exactly how I'm feeling. So that's
He's
very
dreaming
apt.
while he's doing it. It's the sweetest thing. Can we get the dog cam? No, there's no dog cam. Okay, that's fine. That's okay.
But no, I would actually, I don't think I could function knowing that Loki would be there for the rest of his days, keeping it all together. I mean, it's a beautiful, montage. Like, the whole thing looks beautiful, but at the same time, it's like the cost is for his eternity.
Well, and I'm excited to talk about that in particular. Right? Is it eternity? Not
Is this the
not
rest
the
of his
entity,
fate?
but right? Is he there forever? Because I think He Who Remains, it's sort of implied that he is sitting there. He's not going to Trader Joe's or whatever to go grocery shopping. He's stuck
does he use
there.
a bathroom?
Well, that's what I was.
It's on the throne. There's just a cutout.
That's what I was like. What was
Heaven.
so wrong with what they had? I didn't mind it when Kang was in this exile. He had wanted to be on the throne. He was in charge of everything. He was pruning all the branches to have this sacred timeline, but he couldn't meddle anymore because he was situated at the end of time. I thought that was a great thing. Why would you want to mess with that? He's, out away from everything. And I feel like the argument of free will versus the pruning and maintaining of a sacred timeline sort of wasn't enough for Loki to sacrifice everything for that. Does that make sense? And we have to figure out why he chose to do that. And so they got given free will, and what do they do with it? We didn't really get to see what that free will and being able to have branches, how that improved and why that was the better choice. I would have said just keep Kang upstairs.
Well, I think the difference is Kang limits it to one sacred timeline, and you're right, Maude. I don't know if we know that if there is a vine, is there free will on Vine, no matter where it snakes off to? Because there is a future to that vine and a past to that vine. So yeah, there's totally an existential argument here. But I think what Loki was trying to do is create a version where he is the loom. It's not an automated machine that is a failsafe that just prunes it aggressively, but it's like a living, thriving tree. It's a plant that grows
Gloomy.
and changes.
right.
It's a Yggdrasil, right? It's the way it inverted 90 degrees. That is totally the tree, the Asgardian tree of life, where the roots are dead, but they pass through Loki as the trunk of it. They have life to them, and then they grow into this purple fruit.
What does that mean for the Marvel Universe?
I think it means that the multiverse is a living thing. It's a being that can grow and learn and adapt. It is not something that is neutral or inanimate.
And I think that means too that branches can still die and branches can be born, right? So that then you do have free will because new branches are being made. Because it is this living thing, right?
The thing about free will is that every single time a decision is made, it spurns a new dimension. So when you have an entire planet full of billions of people making so many decisions every single day, this is how we get an infinite timeline. This is how we get...
It's only happening
Sorry,
when you
Maude.
talk, Maude.
Do you not like
I
what
gotta
have
ask him to
say?
leave too.
Do you not
Oh,
like
poor
what-
guy.
My dude.
I think what you're trying to reconcile, Maude, is the idea of has Loki actually established a multiverse of free will on his
Infinite
throne?
timelines is
Yes.
what I was going to say, yeah.
I believe he has, just because the visual aesthetic nature of his version of it looks pretty unwieldy to me. And while he is very hands-on in a lot of ways, he grabs it, he illuminates it, and he lets it go. And to me, that is free will. And I think it's worth it. Now, I would have liked to have seen in that final act, Moby's on a jet ski, like a real jet ski. To let
For it
him...
to all be worth it.
I would have seen
The
Aaron Paul at
sacrifice.
the end of Breaking Bad just screaming, tears streaming down his face, going out on those open waves. Yes, but I think that jet ski was right there. I think we can assume that as soon as the other Loki or the other movies went inside, he grabbed it. He boosted
Someone
it.
stole my jet ski.
I
That's
wanted
a terrible. That's
That
a
was
terrible.
solid,
Owen.
John. Do that as the rest
Wow.
of the episode. There it is. Yeah.
You got to do the wow.
My question is, was it worth it? We didn't
Yes.
get to see enough of the difference and why it was important that Loki had to sacrifice everything.
Well, The two things that I remembered. The thing that I was going to bring up was I agree. I think it is infinite, especially because of what Victor Timely said. Right. It's not going. The loom's not going to work because it can't account for an infinite number. And I think that's just kind of foreshadowing. And then going off of what you just said, I think I didn't realize this until right now. The conversation that Loki had with Mobius, we were sitting there and being like, wow, Mobius just told Loki that he has to kill Sylvie. But I think the real answer was Mobius was telling Loki that he has to be the one. He's the sacrifice. There has to be a sacrifice. And that ended up being Loki. And so he has to give that up.
Imagine
in order to save
living
his friends.
the same patch of time for centuries to learn some of the most complicated mathematics and science to try and save the world. And that good deed was rewarded with infinite throne sitting.
Depends on the throne.
But also,
I've sat in some good chairs.
what I find most devastating is that in this penultimate episode, in episode number 5, what was the biggest thing that Loki learned about himself? He didn't want to be alone.
Before we went back, we were kind of talking, is this season better than season 1? Do you put it on the same level? But I would just say, I think we can all agree some of the finales for these Disney Plus shows, not even just the Marvel shows, have been, maybe you'd argue that they didn't quite stick the landing on a lot of them. But shout out to Loki, because banger finale in the first season, great finale in the second season.
Yeah.
And I think you'd struggle to, decide which.
Yeah, and both finales are just interesting characters talking in rooms for the most part. Yes, there was some visual splendor that we got, but it was not fireworks, right? It was
No.
gardening.
The only fight
And it was beautiful.
one that we saw 2 years ago,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
Sylvie,
what we saw this episode was Loki overcoming his fear of being alone. I don't. He did
That's
say
a genuine fear.
It is a horrifying fear, but by going through centuries of loops, I think he is divorced from
No, you're right.
time and from reality at that point. What does it
The
do
only
to
thing
you?
he has, the only person in the multiverse he has anything in common with is Kang.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? Maybe are there other Loki variants? Did he come back in?
He's
just
on
to-
the door.
He's right by the door,
honey.
just coughing into the crack of the door. He's like, I thought you liked my sound.
Does that mean that there's going to be other Loki variants?
Ooh.
That will, because there's so many choices and free will and all the branches, we are going to see an infinite amount of Loki.
I think so. I think what we're seeing there in the pit of the stem is Loki Prime, or the God of Stories Loki, right? That's the idea. Just as there's one He Who Remains, there's one Loki Who Remains. Trademark
Thank you.
Maude Garrett,
Loki
2023.
who remains.
Absolutely.
I don't know about the God of Stories though. I feel like there's really something here where he's holding onto all the branches and it's become a tree. Dude's on gardening leave.
Yeah, but what are pages of a book made out of?
Oh, okay.
Got him.
Kindle.
Trademark it.
Kindle parts.
Yeah.
Audio
Eating.
sounds. I think my big question is, and we disagree with this already, which I think is really amazing. I personally don't think that this lends to a season 3. You've got Mobius, who's opted out of TVA. He's going to try to live his best life. Had a little bit of a murmur. Would we have loved to have seen it?
But what does he
Sure.
do? Does he kill himself?
What?
How does he live?
I don't know. But I don't know that I just don't think we're gonna get a season 3. I think this kind of tied it all up. I think that Renslayer being in the void was her sort of punishment for keeping the deep dark secrets, and now she's kind of off in her little exile. Loki's in what I believe is truly a purgatory. He is not existing. He cannot further anything. He is just a place in time, holding time together. And Mobius is kind of opted out, and everyone else is business as usual. We got a different poster.
I think you can have a season 3. I don't think that was Renslayer's eternal punishment. I think that was her activation moment. She's looking, in my opinion, it's like Locke looking at the smoke monster. This is a moment of illumination for her, and she's gonna have a vengeance path. I don't think they would have ended it with Renslayer that way if they didn't at least have a nugget of a future idea.
No, they had to tie it up though. They had to tie up the story.
I don't think that was the conclusion for her.
Yeah, I think like fans want to see more of the show. I'm sure Marvel wants to see more of the show. We'll see if the writers and directors and actors want more. But yeah, I mean, I just think there's too many unanswered questions.
What are these questions?
Truly, what can Mobius do? Is he going to live his life on the timeline? He was avoiding it for so long. Does he find out that he doesn't like that life? The question that Erik is posing about Renslayer. I think most importantly of all, what happened to X5?
Yeah.
No.
They-
No, but
He made
where the fuck is he?
He made another movie.
Yeah.
His eye's always been on the prize.
I think all you Brad dads out there need to see Brad in something, right? It can't.
right.
His final can't just be as a video game voice at the end of a credit. Maybe that's why. Maybe they're like,
Maybe that
oh,
is it.
Raphael, we got to get you in something else. To me, Miss Minutes. We
got
still
reset.
have so many questions about Miss Minutes.
Oh man, she got reset. They took care of that.
Yeah, reset, but what was her
be evil.
origin? I know she was created as like a chess partner, but like there is more to that story is what I'm saying. Look, a season 3, it's simple, right? Well, I almost spoiled the Marvels, but I will just say the Loki, we have God of Stories Loki. We could have another Loki who gets activated on a journey. And it's like a season 3 where we're really following Loki. It's like a two-hander where he teams up with either Renslayer or B-15 or OB or something like that. And we treat Loki, God of Stories, Loki Prime, as like either a villain or a mentor or something like that. I think you could totally have another season of this.
I mean,
yes.
I'd love more Loki. I think it's really well done. But I also think that they've kind of tied it all up neatly so that if we don't get it,
Yeah.
I'll agree in that,
yes.
if we don't get a season 3, it won't be the end of the world. It's not like
it
we
was
left off
because it's not the end of the world. He saved it.
Right. Where we left off with season 1, if they didn't have that, Loki will train in season 2 or whatever it said, we would all be like, if you don't give us a season 2, we'll fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Probably won't feel that way.
I know. So yes, you've got a question. I do want to say one thing though. I feel like after this episode, I'm a really bad person. I would not have hesitated killing Sylvie.
I agree.
I would not have wasted 2 seconds. If I had gone through centuries of learning and I had to go back and that was the pivotal moment, after centuries of trying to figure this out, she'd be like, what do you need? Done. I wouldn't even let
Yeah.
her finish the sentence. She would be so taken care of.
Now here's the question.
Sure.
In that moment, you don't know that the other option is self-sacrifice. If you
There's
had,
just-
if you
that
were
just
presented
would-
the
I don't
choice,
think I could ever have that as an option.
Yeah.
I just don't think I could have done that. It was the friends they made along the way, like, come on, what happened? And I just think Kang's not doing a bad job.
Yes, he is.
I just don't know that.
His screenplay sucks. I mean, look, I overheard him pitching it to Vince Gilligan outside
in that elevator,
yeah,
in the
or when they
Citadel.
were marching in front of the Disney lot, and that screenplay's terrible. It would have been an awful multiverse saga if we just let that play out as was. I'm telling you, he would have had like Blade, in which there was like 4 friends of his, and he takes a backseat, and it's their story. Man,
How's
we
it
would have gotten
bad?
Thunderbolts, where Bucky dies in the first 10 minutes.
Where's
Whoa.
the problem?
No, I don't know if you could say, look, if Kang wrote the Infinity Saga, he hasn't been doing that bad of a job.
Sure.
That was fucking great. But but I think the idea is, right, at least what Marvel's Studios is saying, that was just too oppressive. And in a multiverse saga, what makes it interesting is that all these different vines can snake in other directions. And maybe it's not better, but it is more interesting, right? To have a garden, a tree that you can't fully prune, or you don't want to prune. You just let it grow every which way.
God of mischief is now the God of stillness, I don't know.
Stillness.
Ju-
But not just that one. He's got other ones. And
If he can actually learn to play like a harp,
yeah.
I feel less sorry for him. I'm mourning this guy. I'm mourning for him and with him.
I'm not. He's Tarzan from the animated. I wanna know.
Can you show me? I wanna know what the strangers like me.
Does he look like he's gonna go surfing around on those things?
He's got new mules. He's got new loafers.
He
He does have a
does.
nice pair of loafers.
Ooh, no socks necessary.
Do you think that Ravonna will kind of try to go find him?
Yes.
You know,
He's gonna be
that
so
one- is it-
lonely that
isn't
he's gonna look at
something that you
Ravonna
wanna
and be
see in
like-
season 3?
Do we think there's a connection between? So we know that the Void was a past TVA, right? When she
Yes.
pulls up that
Yes.
grass, that sod, it is that same emblem that that Mobius ran his shoe across. So that was a past TVA that was left to die, and then nature overtook. But is that vegetation part of the same garden that Loki is currently tilling?
I would love for you to research that and talk about it for 10 minutes tomorrow.
Maude, where am I going to research it? This episode just came out.
Maude loves
What
a gardener.
tomes exist in an archive somewhere?
Every garden needs a hoe.
Boy.
You had a question?
Yeah. I read a poll.
Sorry.
I read a poll in the live Twitch chat.
Yeah.
64% of the live viewers think that we won't get a season 3.
Wow.
No mini me today. I lost my
Bring it
camera.
back.
So that's interesting. I'll be interested in seeing how the discourse kind of grows throughout the next couple of days of like where we think we'll land on a season 3, because season 3 of the show might be like quite different, you know. Wouldn't necessarily deal with the TVA. But I wanted to ask, do you guys think that he can see what's going on all these timelines? Do you think how does he have like the ability to like influence it or anything like that?
Yeah, I think he can see them. I don't think he's influencing it though, because when we pushed in past those vines, we saw like light. It looked like kind of like Mike TV when he disintegrates. Like, didn't it look like it was? There's different colors that was glowing through those vines, and it looked like that was like a piece of a sacred timeline that he could like look through
I don't
and
think
kind of
Mike
see it like a
TV was a
kaleidoscope.
bad guy either. He was just curious. Curiosity killed him? Like, what the? I don't think.
Maude heel turn today on the show.
I just don't think the bad guys.
I think you're right. I think Mike TV was probably the
curious
least
kid.
evil of the 5 kids.
Yeah.
And I'm including Charlie Bucket in that. Mike
Yeah.
TV didn't steal anything.
Yeah.
I have no fucking clue what we're talking about.
Oh, Willy Wonka.
You know, Mike TV just
okay,
watched a
okay,
lot of
okay.
TV, and then to Roald Dahl in the '60s, that was a vice.
was
But
just a
to
bit
us, we
chatty.
made a career out of it.
Fuck you, Rawl. Thank you for coming to me. Thank you.
Get a real
I'm
name.
like
with
working
that.
on my villain laugh as well, I think.
I think Loki can see it. I think he can witness it, and I think his reaction to that final shot was to
He
hearing
looked
Mobius.
forlorn.
Oh, you think so?
Forlorn, the horn.
Was this an Eeyore monologue?
That's interesting. I wasn't thinking about that. You think he was listening and checking in on his buddies?
Yeah, I think that is kind of what the God of Stories is. He's almost like the Watcher. I think he can peek in, but I don't think he does it when they're on their thrones. I think he just lets people live their lives. And
Where is the Watcher in all of this? That's a great thing to bring up. Why do we need another Watcher? What was he doing?
he's right behind you. Just usually is, right?
Watcher? Never met her.
Coughing.
He's somehow, if you just kind of like cross your eyes a little bit, this magic eye of a Los Angeles landscape, you'll start to see the silhouette of an animated Jeffrey Wright.
There you go.
Oh, what a finale. I mean, we predicted a bunch of things. I'll tell you what, that was just not what I expected.
I don't know. I think it's 100% what I have been predicting every
Oh,
episode.
Eric.
I will say the Loki season 1 finale I watched at midnight at my house. We weren't doing this show. And when the elevator doors opened, it was Jonathan Majors. It was like very fun because we, had done so many videos speculating on Kang showing up and He Who Remains. We sort of predicted both, and then that came true. Yeah, we didn't have that moment in this
We did
finale.
it. We did it. And that might be, for a lot of people, why season 1's finale was more exciting, because we had these huge reveals. The way it ended was such a cliffhanger. This just felt like kind of like, it was a more somber experience.
Yeah.
But I think it was wonderful.
Great storytelling. I mean, if you wanted to make us feel, we felt.
Yeah.
I felt all that with Mum Spaghetti. It was on my sweater already.
And I think now, I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but for me, I think Loki's 2 seasons are my favorite storytelling
Yes.
in the MCU.
Yeah. Top of the list, for sure.
But what
Of
does
course,
it
like,
mean moving
the 20 movies that go from Iron Man to Endgame, you can't really count that because that's, not one thing. But this has been my favorite.
What are the next properties going to look like, though? How does this impact everything? I feel like so many stories are telling so many things. You know, Secret Invasion was like, by the way, 1 million people on Earth are actually Skrulls. And you're just like, oh, that's bound to affect so much of the storytelling. And now it's like, by the way, time and space as it exists, we now have Loki kind of like watching over all that. And you're like, well, surely with branches, that's going to impact on the storytelling in the universe big time. Universe says plural. We're in plural land now. Mm-hmm. I wonder how other Maudes are going. That'll keep me up tonight. I hope they're doing okay.
You will find your answer if you just let yourself sleep, because then you'll dream through their lives.
That's right.
Yeah, I honestly think we still have an intact apparatus of the TVA, so if we want to have a Deadpool 3 that has TVA agents involved, but I think it makes Loki a pretty instrumental figure in any kind of Secret Wars event, I would imagine, right? I think it's going to be two sides. One side selected by a team captain of a Kang Prime, and one side selected by a team captain of a Loki Prime.
Well, cool.
I kind of, when we were watching it, it was quite interesting where he goes, you know, if you destroy the loom, or if you do anything but what we've been doing in this loop this entire time, there will be a huge war. And you went, oh, Secret War. And I was like, I kind of love that would have been the setup, because that would have made sense. It would have gotten into the Kang dynasty. It would have been such a nice flow. So I just don't know what you're going to do with all of that.
So my question is sort of like, okay, the TVA still has employees. They're still mingling. They're still eating pie. What is their responsibility now if they don't have timelines to prune? And the only thing that we saw in this episode was, hey, we're keeping tabs on all these Kang variants. So that makes me think that the TVA might play an important role in Kang Dynasty or in Secret Wars, because that's all they have now is just, we're going to track down Kangs.
That's it. They're on a Kang hunt.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think they're like, 12 steps behind. I think,
of course, yeah.
The ruckus in the quantum realm, like that was referring to Kang the Conqueror in the quantum realm, right? That Mobius had we got to re-look at that screen, because on Disney Plus it was looked like someone smeared Vaseline on my screen, as always is the case. But yeah, we'll see what it says on that forum. But yeah, I think they're gonna just be witnessing events after they happen. They're not gonna be able to predict where Kangs spring up. I think there's your season 3 is like your TVA is like going through history, and you have a Kang of the week. Then you can get a truly episodic series where it's just, the show kind of reinvents itself the way Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. reinvented itself halfway through as like kind of a different genre of show.
True. Except Jonathan Majors has already gone through 17 personalities with those 2 characters.
He's running out.
Yeah.
Well, it might not be Jonathan Majors. We'll see what happens with the legal stuff.
Evan, any more questions from the chat?
Yeah, you guys covered a lot of questions that people have been asking about. I think maybe we'll just hit one or two other ones here. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, best guesses then. Dosey Dos asked, what do you think the TVA is doing right now? Are they just looking for He Who Remains variants or Kang variants, or are they doing something else?
I mean, we saw the Chrono Monitor, and it had an image of this sort of tree, new timeline structure. So they do have to be monitoring the timeline or timelines to some capacity. To that, I don't know what, but it does seem like their primary objective is to just keep the multiversal war from happening.
Did you guys notice that there's like a new rank, like a new position among the TVA employees? Like you still have your chrono monitors / bureaucrats, you have your hunters, you have your analysts, and you have judges. Judge Gamble was still there. But then there's also these like white clad guys who kind of look like,
I didn't see that.
They look like medical examiners. I wonder if their job is to like examine the corpses of dead timelines and kind of do like postmortems on timelines to explain like lessons learned or why this died or what was wrong with it or was it worth pruning, that kind of thing. I think look, if you imagine each Kang is like a different Ted Bundy or a different like Bin Laden, like they have a long history of crimes and footprints that they left behind throughout history. So yeah, you're gonna need an entire division that is just like playing Mindhunter, with each of those Kangs. And imagine if there's infinite Kangs. Yeah, that's a lot of work. I hope right now that's what they're doing, is they're just trying to find the whack-a-mole Kangs.
You know that they didn't need to do that when there was just a sacred timeline.
Oh,
It's almost
Maude,
like-
why are you advocating?
It's almost like they made more work for
is
themselves.
he paying you? What is he paying you,
Can
Maude?
chill.
Christian Unpronounceable just says, Evan, can you let the host know this episode is now my favorite episode of anything ever.
Wow. Anything ever? Have you seen The Constant, my friend? Because
Second lost reference of the day.
second of 100.
All right.
No, but yeah, I it's a very, very good episode. I agree, Christian.
And then last question here. Do you think anyone outside of the TVA will know about Loki's sacrifice?
No, and that's the saddest part of all.
I think if you start telling people that, everyone's gonna get real freaked out. Like, who is this weirdo with his sandals who's sitting on a golden throne who's just like caressing the vine of my life?
Oh,
I
that's
don't even know that.
Is that the same guy that killed a bunch of people in New York in 2012?
Yeah.
That was weird.
You know what I like to see with my gods? Growth. As a pun, because it's
Branches.
yeah.
And the horns, too.
Grew.
The horns had this really interesting kind of citadel-esque ornamentation on them, which I thought was an interesting choice.
Black, not
Yeah.
gold as well.
Yeah, well, they had the kind of like cracked seal.
The kintsugi
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
right.
look to it. Yeah, and isn't it interesting that kintsugi is like gold cracks,
Yeah.
and the gold is what overtook the throne itself to make it all gold. So it's like it bled over into just one chunk of a
Well, he's
golden nugget.
He's putting it all back together, which is what the gold
He is, yeah.
represents.
Right. Things were broken, and now they are whole.
Yeah.
They're part of one living
they
thing.
broken?
Like, the Citadel was a husk, Maude. It was a
Get her
shell.
outta
It was a Sunset Boulevard. It was Xanadu. There was no life there. There was a broken statue. Hey, there's another mystery there. Fourth broken statue. Do you know Christian? Do you know Dosito? No one knows.
Dosey don't.
don't.
Did you just say Dosey
No,
don't?
you got it.
Oh, what did you say?
I just laughed at Dosey Do.
Oh, Dosey don't.
We'll have to make this as a separate video, but Eric Martin said that episode 5 was originally going to be a crazier concept that Marvel Studios, quote, nuked.
Whoa.
That it was so bizarre that Kevin Feige and his brain trust were like, absolutely not.
And then some employees at Marvel were like apologizing to him, saying like, "Sorry, that was my favorite episode."
Yeah. So we'll talk about that in the future.
Yeah.
What was this mystery 5th episode? Let us know in the comments below how crazier you think they could have gone on the show. But we'll leave it there for this episode of Inside Marvel. What an amazing season of television. I didn't know Marvel could do this. Well done to Eric Martin, to Benson and Moorhead, to Kazar Farhani, the whole crew and cast of this show. Again, Easter egg breakdown. Oh shit, I gotta write an Easter egg breakdown. All right, it's gonna be a long night. I'm gonna go work on that now. I'm gonna look tired, but it'll be fun, and it'll be on the channel on Friday. Follow the Breakroom on Twitter and on Twitch and on Instagram at BreakroomNR, and of course follow New Rockstars live event November 16th. And I've learned in the past week that it's going to be a live public apology tour for how bad my theories have been.
Aw.
You know?
You gotta think of something. You can't be right all the time.
Mobius and Jack could still be the same person. We never found out that they weren't.
I like that way of thinking.
We never
John.
saw anyone make a pie.
That's right. All these could still be true. That's
right.
the secret.
Mephisto's out there.
He is.
Thank you for watching.